we want you to find a way to begin to appreciate the contrast that is coming into focus. In other words, when a problem is coming into focus for you, and you know how that goes. At first you don't notice it so much, and then it becomes bigger, and then you talk about it more, and then you get other people involved in it, and then more things like it begin manifesting around you until you have this issue. The whole time that that problem is coming into focus, there is a solution coming into focus equally, and equally emphatic, an equally specific answer to your question, solution to your problem. But most humans are unaware, because you're unaware that you're vibrational beings. You're unaware of the wave that you're setting forth. You're unaware, most of you, of the source energy part of you who remains non-physically focused. And so as you explore this contrast and know clearly what you don't want, even though you're giving birth to what you do want, and the solution is coming into focus and into vibrational beingness, most people just keep poking around at the problem because it's interesting. This stuff that is manifested has your attention. You see it with your eyes and hear it with your ears. You are so good at interpreting your time-space reality that you are enamored by reality. You think reality is the real deal. We thought you'd think that was funny. And we want you to know that this reality that you are calling reality, what's going on with your body, what's happening in your bank account, what's happening with your relationships, even what's happening in your world, what's happening in your global economy or your personal economy, what's happening in your ecology, what's happening in your government, what's happening in other governments. All of those things that are reality have your attention, but today we want to call your attention to the present tense, vibrational reality that you have given birth to. We want to help you to see that when you're looking around at what's manifested in terms of the dollars you have or the conditions of your body or the relationship state of being that is happening in what you call your now reality, we want to convince you here today that as real as it seems and as much as you can see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, it really is old news, vibrationally speaking, because it has produced this vortex of creation, this vibrational reality, which is where the larger part of you stands and bees. It's where the larger part of you stands and bees and feels. In other words, when you recognize, as you look at your bank account, that you don't have enough money and you ask for more, the larger part of you receives that vibrational equivalency and feels the prosperity as if it is manifested. When you're sick and therefore want to be well, the inner being part of you is weller than it was before you became sick. This is the evolution of all species. And if we can get your attention about this, if we can convince you about the validity and the reality of this vibrational reality, and if you can feel with us the present tenseness of it, then you will give less attention. You will have fewer knee-jerk reactions to what's going on in your physical now reality. And in doing so, you will diffuse the opposing vibration that is preventing what's in this vortex of creation, in this vibrational reality, from becoming. Do you know the only thing that prevents a manifestation of the things you want is your opposing vibration? And do you know that your opposing vibration from what you've asked for primarily occurs because you're looking at what is instead of thinking about what you've asked for? You're such good score takers. You are really good at documenting what is. Oh, your obsession with what is. You say to us, but it's true. And we say, so what? It doesn't mean diddly squat. What's happening in terms of manifestation, really, friends, is old news. It's only the bouncing off place for what's going on over here. So what's it going to take for you to be able to receive full exposure and experience to what you've put into your vortex of creation? It's simple. You got to go in there where it all is. You got to go in there, vibrationally speaking, where you can see it, where it lights up for you. You've got to get on the same wavelength. You know from your own electrical experience and electronic experience and transmitting and broadcasting experience that you can't receive what's being broadcast if you put your dial on 6:30 a.m. and the transmitter tower is broadcasting from something different. You know you've got to dial into the frequency. In a recent gathering, Jerry and Esther began, and during the opening remarks, another voice from another room in another part of the convention center began speaking into their auditorium. Because their electronics were set to the same frequency. So when they began talking, you all heard them. And that's what we're talking about. You've got to set your frequency to the vortex frequency. And the vortex frequency is everything that you have evolved to. That's who you are. That's who you have become. And if you don't keep up with you, you're going to feel less good. So if you're in a state of fear, you're nowhere near your vortex. But the source energy that is you, who is in the vortex, still continues to call you. And as you hear the call, you may move up this emotional scale. Fear and disempowerment on one far end, and love and joy and appreciation on the other. As you begin moving closer to your vortex, you'll move from despair and utter disempowerment into revenge, into rage and anger. You move right through into a little less anger until you're in overwhelmment and frustration. And if you keep moving, you'll bump right into the vibration that we describe with the emotional word hope. And when you are chronically hopeful, you're chronically on the verge of your vortex. And when you're chronically on the verge of your vortex, law of attraction will draw you in. And once you get drawn in, you'll have exposure to experiences that will help you to believe. In other words, from hope to belief is just one swirl of the vortex. In other words, in you are, and there you meet someone. There someone hands you the key. There you read something. There you come to know something. And if you hang around in the vortex on a pretty chronic regular basis, you'll thrive in ways that those outside the vortex will never understand. They'll call you lucky. They might even call you weird, because it's weird for you to be joyful in these economic times. It's weird for you to be thriving. What are you up to? Are you dealing drugs, they say? It's weird for you to be healthy in an environment where so many are sick. It's weird for you to be full of life. It's weird for you to be frisky in a depressed economy, you see. But from inside the vortex, you're looking at life, even your life here on planet Earth, through the eyes of Source. You're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, in vibrational alignment with all that you have become. And that is the most important thing that we want to help you to understand. The emotions that you feel are your indicator of how much you are allowing yourself to be all that you've become, or how much you are resisting or disallowing. Your emotions are giving you all of that. Now, the reason that we are so animated about helping you to understand this is because we want you to understand that you are vibrational beings. You are source energy beings. You are God in physical bodies. And as you've come forth from this non-physical realm, a part of that consciousness has come into the personality that you know as you. That means there are potentially two vibrational aspects of you. Now, the reason we say two potential aspects, they're almost always, without exception, are two vivid vibrational aspects of you. But you could, in your physical body, in any moment of time, be so vibrationally attuned to who you really are. You could be in a moment of rapturous love. And when you're doing that in your physical body, there is only one vibration that's happening. In other words, you bring your physical vibration into complete alliance or harmony or accord or allowing with the vibration of who you really are. So we want you to understand that every emotion that you feel, and there are lots of them all day long, every day, your emotions are your indication of these two vibrational aspects. The better you feel, the more you are in the proximity of who you have become. Now, hear that. We want you to understand it's not just who you were before you were born. It's who this part of you has become since you've been born, putting all of those things over there into this vortex of creation. Every time you ask, it's given. And it's given because the larger part of you becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for. And in order for you to have the manifestation that you want to call your reality, you've got to match up with what you've asked for, and you can't do it by looking at the absence of it. We want to get across to you in a way that you will always remember that when you don't feel good, when you're discouraged or depressed or overwhelmed or afraid, when you're worried, when you're angry, when you're fearful, when you have any of those negative emotions bubbling within you, what it means every single time is that your life caused you to expand, and right now you stubbornly aren't going. The larger part of you went to a newer, clearer, better feeling, more evolved, more expansive place, just like you knew you would cause to happen by your association with physical life out here on the leading edge. But you didn't go. You didn't take the bounce. You're still justifying why you want it. I really need these things I've asked for because I'm really sick. I'll pray for recovery from this awful thing that I have. We're beating the drum, can you tell? I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I've never had enough, I've never had enough, I've never had enough, I've never had enough. It's not fair that those others have so much. It's not fair that those others have so much. And what we want you to understand is that as long as you are still poking around at the vibration that has caused you to expand, you're going to feel awful because you're not letting yourself expand. You're stuck in what you call reality. And we want you to understand that everything that you see around you, every manifestation, your Earth spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets, all of it was vibrationally happening first. All of it was in this vortex of creation first. All of it was a vibrational reality before it came into view by you. So as we're moving forward here today, it is our desire to accomplish a few things with you. We want you to get a whiff of our understanding of the existence of this vibrational reality. And we would like very much if this vibrational reality could become as important to you as it was before you came forth into your physical body. We want you to return to your knowledgeable memory of the whole being that you are. We want you to realize that when life causes you, when someone's rude, you want to be nicer. And the larger part of you becomes that. You become that evolved, expanded, more experienced liver of life through the living of life. So as life causes you to continue to expand, and you pay attention to the way you feel, and most important, you care how you feel, then what begins to happen is you begin to feel your way into the vortex. You begin to feel, you begin to return to this sense of worthiness that is natural to you, to the sense of love that is natural to you, to the sense of thriving in all regards that is natural to you. Who you are is one who over not just this lifetime, but all that you have lived, you are one who loves. And when you find something, some aspect of your physical time-space reality that is not lovable, and you choose not to love, you condemn or hate or push against, that hatred you feel is your indication of discord, because while you have free will to do it, you are choosing a perspective that the larger part of you does not choose, which means you've stepped out of the vortex. Now, if your inner being, if that God who is truly you would step out of the vortex with you and hate right along with you, you wouldn't feel any discord. Because the discord you feel is your separation. That's really too strong a word, but you're pinching off of the fullness of who you are.